Today we're going to be doing a helo install on your bike. So the tools you're going to be needing to do your helo install are a suspension pump, 5mm Allen, 4mm Allen, 3mm Allen, 2mm Allen, a dental pick, a 10mm ratchet, cable cutters, needle nose pliers, side cutters, grease, and lint-free towels. Once you've got all that, you're ready to check your helo. Make sure you've got all the parts necessary. So make sure you have all of your helo stuff here, all of your parts. Make sure you have a helo with a remote activator block, a cable and housing kit, your actual BAT lever, the lever body, the lever mounting clip, the lever mounting screw and nut, your cable ferrule, your cable end crimp, your cable holder, end cap. You have your guide tube, inner guide tube, dirt keeper, and end caps. This is the lever to go on the front of the helo. If you didn't want to use the remote, you would just put this right on with that bolt. You may also have the 2-bolt helo design or the SL post. We're also going to run you through how to string a cable on that and attach the saddle to it. So before you get started, you're going to want to check the air pressure in your helo first. So you're going to go ahead and hold it upside down, hold the lever open, cycle the post by hand a few times until you feel all the oil in the lower half. You can verify that by letting go of the valve, and the post should act like a pogo stick. That tells you that all your oil's down here where it needs to be. So go ahead and remove your air cap. And attach your suspension pump. And you're going to want to make sure that the regular helo is inflated to 20 psi and the SL goes to 15. What you're going to want to do is hold the valve open and add some pressure. Reopen the valve. And adjust as necessary. Go ahead and remove your suspension pump. Reinstall your air cap. And this you're going to torque to 20 inch-pounds. And then you need to recycle all your oil back down into the bottom. So you're going to hold the lever open, give it a few very slow cycles, and you can hear it refilling. And one more little slow one, and you're nice and topped off. That's ready to go on the bike and be installed. All right, once you're all ready to go, first step is going to be remove the old seat post from the bicycle. And install your helo. Slide in your helo. Don't over tighten your seat clamp. It will not allow the post to activate smoothly. And you can start running your cable. First thing we're going to do is assemble our lever base. So you're going to slide those two together. Put the screw through. Then to remove your cable. Cable goes through the BAT lever. Go ahead and insert your cable stop And that'll just go till it sits tight, like that. Put your cable through the lever body. And you can go set that on the handlebar. Go ahead and snap on your lever clamp. You're gonna have to hold backside pressure with your thumb and slightly spread the top of it to get it to go together. And it should slip right in. Take your nut, insert it onto the keyed side. Bolt will go in on the round side. And this lever can be placed in any direction, top or bottom on the handlebar. It activates 360 degrees in any direction. Okay, go ahead and start working on stringing our cable. All right, so first thing we're gonna wanna do is put some support straps on here. So on this bike, we're gonna start here. The goal with the support straps is to allow free movement of the cable housing so that when the post is going up and down, your housing is sliding out the front of the bike as opposed to bunching up at your rear tire right here. So what you're gonna wanna do is come through your little guide, come up into the seat post, feed that through your front mount. We're gonna put another little holder right about here. So once you've got your cable routed up from the frame, go ahead and rotate your bars to 180 and try and establish your cable length here. Mark it, cut it. Use your dental pick to reopen the end of the cable. Install your ferrule on the cable, not on the housing. So what you're wanting to do is make sure this cable is very thoroughly greased as it's being fed in. So you just kind of sweep the slick honey onto the cable while it's going into the housing. The reason you put the ferrule on the cable instead of the housing is so that this grease actually goes into the housing. If you put your ferrule on the housing, it won't work its way into the housing. So the next step is putting all of our guide pieces onto the seat post. This is where all those little parts come in. So when you're installing your little parts, start with the black cable end with the cup facing up. Then you're gonna install your inner guide tube, your outer guide coil. See how that fits into the cup? Then your upper cap. Slide that right down onto the seat post. Install your dust keeper. And what you're gonna wanna do when you start the cable is insert it about 3 millimeters, give it a 90-degree bend, and then push it through the rest of the way. That little bend will make sure the cable actually comes out of the holder and you're not fighting with it. Go ahead and pull the slack through. And get your 2 millimeter Allen key. You're gonna want to push on this lever just a tad, just to take some of that slack out. Tighten your set screw. And test your lever. And that's working. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll cut the cable, put our cable end on it, clean up all of your zip ties, Go ahead and remove the bike from the bike stand and check the function of the cable and make sure it's actually sliding out the front of the bike, not being held up at the wheel. So activate it. She holds down and you'll notice the cable actually is feeding itself out the front of the bike. All right, so the last step is to pull your seat guts out and make sure that the fiber grip is in place before you install your saddle. So remove a cover, pull a wedge out, make sure you actually have all this gritty fiber grip in there to make sure your seat doesn't spin on you. And you can actually put the seat on. Add a little bit of grease to this bolt. That'll help to make sure it comes all the way to torque. All right, last step will be to put the bike on the ground, set your saddle angle, the fore-aft position, and then this is going to torque to 200 inch-pounds. So if you're working on a Hilo SL or 2-bolt head unit like this one, you're going to run the cable through the lever assembly as normal. You're going to leave the ferrule off the end of the housing as it settles into the head of the post. Feed your cable through the rearwardmost hole and up out the top. Make sure your housing settles into the seat post. Then feed your cable through the hole in the front of the seat post and underneath this hold down washer. Sometimes you have to guide it and hold it in place like that. And tighten your set screw. And reach and make sure that it is activating and working properly. So once you have your cable connected and you verified that it works, you're likely to have a little play at the lever, so use your barrel adjuster just to take that play out. Once your cable's nice and snug, bring your cutters in to a nice short length. Put on housing end crimp. And you're ready to affix your seat guts. When you're assembling the head unit on the 2-bolt, you'll have an X on top of the head back here. You'll have an X on the lower seat plate and an X on the back of the upper seat plate. Okay, put that there. A little bit of grease on your rotational nuts, and that'll help keep them in place. Go ahead and set that there. Grab your saddle. All right, you're gonna wanna go ahead and run both your saddle bolts in a little bit, just kind of get it to where it's not flopping around, and then you can put it on the ground. All right, once you have your fore-aft saddle adjustment made, go ahead and tighten your bolts down to set the seat angle. Use a 4mm Allen key to do this, and you're gonna torque these to 50 inch-pounds. Make sure you torque the front one first, and then the rear one second. That's how you install a Hilo cable assembly. If you have any further questions, please feel free to visit our website.